Taylor Swift making history once again, the new milestone for the pop superstar over the weekend that all started at SoFi Stadium. And a Halloween display here in California has people traveling hundreds of miles to see it, the touching reason one mom put on the spooky spectacle every year. You're watching The Rundown. Hello, everyone. I'm Robin Winston. More on those stories coming up in a moment. But first, Californians are taking some time out this week to get ready for the big one. On Tuesday, an earthquake simulator will be in the LA area over at Alvera Street. It allows you to feel what it's like to be in a 7.0 magnitude quake. The California Office of Emergency Services is bringing the simulator to several cities across the state. This comes just days before the Great California Shakeout Day. That's Thursday, when earthquake drills will take place across the state. It's all part of an effort to get people prepared.
First thing that you should do is build an emergency kit that includes water, food, medicine, as well as important paperwork for you and your family.
That's good advice for any disaster. More than 3/4 of holiday travelers are changing their plans. The main reason, inflation. So instead of flying, more people say they'll be driving, taking fewer trips, and choosing cheaper accommodations or destinations. That's according to a new report from Bankrate. About 70% of holiday travelers also have at least one concern about their upcoming trip. The biggest worry is that their plans will strain their budget. Other people are concerned about airline cancellations or delays, weather, and lost luggage. Did you see it? I sure did. The Ring of Fire annular solar eclipse took over the sky Saturday morning. It was seen across the Western Hemisphere. And here's an amazing time lapse of the eclipse from an NBC viewer who captured these photos from Adelanto in San Bernardino County. Another eclipse is coming soon on April 8th, 2024. An eclipse will cross 3 countries, Mexico, the United States, and Canada. Checking in with meteorologist Belinda Leon, who's tracking above normal temperatures.
Hi everyone, here's what I'm tracking in your forecast this week. Temperatures are going to be hot for October, above normal conditions expected away from the coast with highs in the 90s. And that hot, dry weather will keep fire danger elevated. Let's be safe with any fire sources. It's not until this weekend when it's going to feel like fall again and temperatures come down. But until then, here's the trend, hot. In Riverside, we have low 90s Monday and Tuesday. It's going to get even hotter for the middle of the week with temperatures flirting with 100 degrees. Right now, Thursday looks like our hottest day. Friday, we start to slowly come down, still warm for this time of year, 95. And then look at that weekend. On Saturday, 89. And by Sunday, we're back to warm boots and soup. Until then, stay hydrated and cool. Be safe.
Gaza's borders remain closed as Israeli tanks line up on the other side, poised to invade. In Gaza, more than 2,750 people have been killed, and in Israel, more than 1,400 people have been killed. 30 Americans are included among the dead. Many Americans are leaving Israel by boat. People who haven't been able to get a flight will board a cruise ship which will take them to Cyprus. From there, they can book flights home. The Israeli military says Hamas militants are holding 199 hostages in Gaza. 13 Americans are believed to be among them. The Biden administration is working to get up to 600 Americans out of Gaza through Egypt. Many people here in Southern California fear what's next as the war enters its second week. Demonstrators marched through Pico Robertson Sunday to show support for Israel. They loudly condemn the attacks by Hamas terrorists in Israel and say they feel empowered by the Israeli military's response.
I know many people who were called back, some in America that flew yesterday to go help their brothers in Israel. I don't feel scared. I feel power in our strength, and I'm very hopeful.
The only way to ensure Jewish safety and Palestinian safety is partnership between Jews and Palestinians, and the escalating violence that we're seeing from the Israeli government with the support of the U.S. government is certainly doing nothing to help that.
You also just heard from a volunteer from the If Not Now movement who held a mourner's prayer in Mid-Wilshire for the Israelis and Palestinians killed in the recent violence. They are demanding a peaceful resolution to the conflict, saying they do not want their grief to justify more violence. The entertainment world is mourning the loss of Suzanne Summers. From Three's Company to Step by Step, Summers was a mainstay on TV for decades. She also pitched exercise videos and The Thigh Master. Summers' family says she'd been battling an aggressive form of breast cancer for 23 years. She passed away peacefully at her home Sunday morning, the day before what would have been her 77th birthday. Fans left some flowers by her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. A spokesperson says Summers will be laid to rest this week and a memorial will be held sometime next month. LA Mayor Karen Bass traveled to Washington, D.C. to try and get more money to address a number of issues, including homelessness. Bass and several city council members are meeting with senior members of the Biden administration. In addition to homelessness, the mayor's office says this trip will also be focused on making LA safer, providing more resources for veterans, and improving our transportation system. Healthcare workers in California are getting a bump in pay. This does not have to do with the recent strikes. Governor Newsom signed a new law that sets a $25 an hour minimum wage for healthcare workers across the state. It goes into effect at the start of next year. The new law will increase wages for more than 450,000 workers, most of them women and people of color. The biggest pop star in the world dominated the weekend box office. As expected, Swifties were singing and dancing in the aisles for the Eras Tour concert film.
This has been the most extraordinary experience of my entire life.
The movie made $96 million in its first weekend in theaters, easily crushing all other competition. It's the biggest ever opening for a concert film, more than tripling the $31 million earned by Miley Cyrus' Best of Both Worlds debut. That was back in 2008. It's even more impressive since the movie wasn't on anybody's radar even 6 weeks ago. Taylor announced it was filmed at SoFi Stadium during her stop here in late August. Can't wait to check it out. All right, we're continuing our celebration of Hispanic heritage with some food for our furry friends. NBC4's Lauren Coronado met with one baker who is making sure your pet is included when breaking bread.
Inspired by a love for dogs, baking, and her own Hispanic heritage, Adriana Montoya is introducing a new concept, and we're bringing you along for a behind-the-scenes look.
I have conchas, puerquitos, galletas, cuernitos, caritas felices, have mazapanes.
It smells really good.
Yeah.
Peanut butter.
Yes, peanut butter and coconut flour.
It smells like a traditional panaderia and looks like one.
Growing up in Paramount, there's panaderias everywhere, and one that we used to always go to was a panaderia called Adrianas Banada. And
very fitting.
Yeah. So knowing there was one out there with my name, like I was always like, well, maybe one day I'll have my own.
And here we are.
It's La Panaderia.
A panaderia for pups.
And my whole life, like I was that one person that would always be petting the dogs, even if I was at a party.
Montoya launched her business November of last year.
Step it down gently. Being able to create something that like a lot of dogs love, like that makes me happy. Wanting them to be able to enjoy a treat that is also good for them. I wanted to be able to incorporate my culture into like my business, and it's very nostalgic for me.
They look good.
My grandma originally, she's from Sinaloa.
Okay.
So my whole family is from down that way in Culiacan.
How has their journey played a role in yours?
Well, it's like they grew from nothing. So it's just seeing how independent like my grandma was and working all the time. And my mom as well, like she's such a hard worker, and like just like growing around that, it inspired me to keep pushing and like not giving up.
Not giving up on her Mexican-American dream.
Sharing the things that you loved with your future generations.
Oh my gosh, it's like the...
Yeah, it's like the cookie. You got my dog, had to go. No, you're good. I haven't seen too many people like be able to create like a whole like variety of pan dulces for a dog.
Do we get a wag of approval?
Everyone wants to have that feeling of like making your parents proud. And
I think we did a really good job.
yeah, we did,
They
definitely.
look good. All right, well, to find out more about Adriana's story or to even place an order for your own furry friend, we have a link on our website, NBCLA.com. Reporting from Adriana's Panaderia, I'm Lauren Coronado, NBC4 News.
With Halloween right around the corner, parents, we all know the concerns over the kids having too many sweets. So we're taking a look at some of the healthiest Halloween candy. According to dietitians, the healthiest candy is peanut M&Ms. You get a little more substance than just sugar and corn syrup because it has peanuts. In fact, one serving has 1 gram of fiber and 2 grams of protein. Candy with nuts are your healthiest options. There's also Smarties. Those contain less sugar than most candies. But parents, remember, you can always use the parent tax move, which is take some of your child's Halloween candy and eat it yourself for their health, of course. There's a special Halloween display up in San Jose. You got to see this. That's drawing visitors from all across California. Check out the spooky swamp. It features lights, sound, dozens of animatronic figures. It's so cool, all courtesy of Shelly Jimenez. She does it all for her 28-year-old son, Chris. He was born premature and later suffered brain damage. He's also dealing with severe lung disease. And a couple of years back, he lost his sight. But he always loved Halloween. So even though Chris can't actually see the product of his mom's dedication, she hopes his love for Halloween will be passed on to people who come to experience it for themselves.
He would get such a kick out of when someone would scream because they were frightened by one of the props, and he would be sitting on the couch just laughing his head off. I think of it like as Chris's legacy, how it all, started, but it just snowballed into something bigger that I never, ever would have imagined.
Shelly says they get between 600 and 700 visitors every year, some coming to San Jose from as far as San Diego. Wow, this is so awesome and definitely worth the trip. She put a lot into that. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune into Today in LA on NBC4 weekdays, 4 to 7 a.m. I'll be helping you get around with traffic reports throughout your morning commute. I'll see you next time on The Rundown.